Hi, I'm Mark Cluggle. Welcome to the Photographer Academy, and today we're talking about cluttered backgrounds and kind of using the right lens, right aperture for the shot. I went back into the archive to actually dig out some images that were shot on the same lens that demonstrated it, and this is from one of my books many years ago. And I think if you kind of look at it, these images, they're shot for a wedding dress designer on the same day. In and around the Cardiff Bay Area, and they wanted to kind of have different looks, but you can see how the image on the right hand side is a far more successful image than the images on the left hand side. And one of the reasons obviously is because of the cluttered background on the left hand side compared to the visually more attractive background on the right hand side. So, you know, when you're kind of shooting the image, and I've got to say that the image on the left was just a test shot, but basically, you know, it's shot at f8. The image on the right hand side is shot at 5.6. They're both shot on an 85mm lens, so it's a prime lens. So they're basically, the distance wise is not too dissimilar from camera to subject, but you can see how the image, just because of location choice on the left hand side, really needs some help. Now, to do that, obviously the first thing would be is to change the aperture dramatically, and you don't need all that depth of field when you're using the likes of an 85mm lens or a prime lens, and you're around about 5 to 6 feet away from a subject. You could pretty much shoot on around f2.8 and you'd basically get the subject fully in depth. So as far as the image on the left hand side today within Photoshop, it's not a lot of work to actually do in things, because obviously we could either select the subject itself, kind of remove her from the background, blur the background, put her back on, or if we were to just take her here and basically we'll open her in RAW, so Control R from the actual the window itself. And then with this image now, we can basically look at reducing the amount of detail in the background. And we can do that by just coming down into lens blur. So if you're working on a RAW file, it's an easy way to kind of start to add some blur to the background. So if we click onto the lens blur toggle, and then we click onto the apply, at this stage, Adobe AI is going to have to do a little bit of work to actually analyze the subject, analyze the background, and you can identify that by this little kind of blue wheel on the right hand side going in. And then it opens up, and as you can see here, it's already identified the subject, and it's already kind of applied some kind of blur into the background compared to without it on. I can go in now and obviously kind of increase the amount of blur for the background, and this is going to make that image a lot more sellable, even a lot more attractive if this was for a wedding album and the likes of. So that's a kind of a quick fix for this image, but the real fix is in the likes of the shot, choose your image location. But just to prove the point really, even with this background here, it's still quite sharp, and the lens blur option is still not a bad one to even apply. So remember, this shot was done at 5.6, whereas the other images are done at f.8. Really what we want to do is kind of give us the effect of f2.8 here, and that's what just by clicking on that apply button has just done to that image. So that's a great way for you to kind of rescue an image in the likes of the post-production with just a click of a button.